Greetings, IUP, community, colleagues, peers, friends. Today, I'm giving my presentation for the BAM Books submission. I'm really excited to do this because I'm talking about one of my favorite all-time books, Kate Chopin's The Awakening. And it's interesting because Chopin's Awakening wasn't necessarily banned, but it was considered saucy and a little seedy. And let me give you a little excerpt and about the novel, and then I'm going to read my excerpt from the novel itself. Chopin's second and last novel, The Awakening, was published in 1899 and aroused a storm of controversy for its then unprecedented treatment of female independence and sexuality, and for its unromantic portrayal of marriage. Socially ostracized for her scandalous frankness, Chopin died in 1904. It was not until the second half of the 20th century that The Awakening was rediscovered and assumed a place of significance in the canon of American literature. And I quite think that a horrible injustice has been done, and luckily she has been refound, because I'm going to read the very last section of the novel, which, if doesn't move your soul, you have no soul. And here it is. The water of the gulf stretched out before her, gleaming with a million lights of the sun. The voice of the sea is seductive, never ceasing, whispering, clamoring, murmuring, inviting the soul to wander in abysses of solitude. All along the white beach, up and down, there was no living thing in sight. A bird with a broken wing was beating the air above, reeling, fluttering, circling, disabling, down to the water. Edna had found her old bathing suit still hanging, faded upon its accustomed peg. She put it on, leaving her clothing in the bathhouse. But when she was there beside the sea, absolutely alone, she cast the unpleasant, pricking garments from her, and for the first time in her life, she stood naked in the open air, at the mercy of the sun, the breeze that beat upon her, and the waves that invited her. How strange and awful it seemed to stand naked under the sky. How delicious. She felt like some newborn creature opening its eyes in a familiar world that it had never known. The foamy wavelets curled up to her white feet and coiled like serpents about her ankles. She walked out. The water was chill, but she walked on. The water was deep, but she lifted her white body and reached out with a long, sweeping stroke. The touch of the sea is sensuous, enfolding the body in soft, close embrace. She went on. She remembered the night she swam far out and recalled the terror that seized her at the fear of being unable to regain the shore. She did not look back now, but went on, thinking of the bluegrass meadow that she had traversed when a little child, believing that it had no beginning and no end. Her arms and legs were growing tired. She thought of Leonce and the children. They were part of her life, but they need not have thought that they could possess her body and soul. How Mademoiselle Royce had laughed, perhaps sneered if she knew. You call yourself an artist? What pretensions, madam! The artist must possess the courageous soul that dares and defies. Exhaustion was pressing upon and overpowering her. Goodbye, because I love you. He did not know. He did not understand. He would never understand. Perhaps Dr. Mendele would have understood if she had seen him, but it was too late. The shore was far behind her, and her strength was gone. She looked into the distance, and the old terror flamed up for an instant, then sank again. Edna heard her father's voice and her sister Margaret's. She heard the barking of an old dog that was chained to the sycamore tree. The spurs of the cavalry officer clanged as he walked across the porch. There was the hum of bees, and the musky odor of pinks filled the air.